Hello and welcome back to Busy Pro Fast Wellness. Today we have a truly inspiring guest who understands the incredible demands and challenges faced by educators. I'm thrilled to welcome Stefy, a dedicated mindset coach who empowers teachers to cultivate mental strength and silence their inner critics that can so often hold professionals back. Stefy, a huge welcome to the podcast.
Hello, Alan, and hello, everyone. Thank you so much for this beautiful introduction.
Oh, you're more than welcome. This is such a great opportunity for us to dig into so many things in the mindset world. So, Stefy, maybe you can just give us a brief summary of your background and where you are today in your professional life.
So basically, in a nutshell, Alan, I was a teacher, an ESL teacher. Then I became a teacher entrepreneur.
Yeah.
And now I work as a mindset coach and growth coach for teachers. If you want me to expand on it, I think I would just want to mention 3 things about my teaching career.
Okay.
And to start with, I just want to say how much I love teaching and how much I always loved it. But there were these 3 things that were kind of missing from my life as I was teaching. The first one was that I didn't feel valued enough as a teacher. I mean, financially, but I mean, verbally as well, but financially as well. And then the second one was that I was a non-native English teacher and I didn't feel respected enough for being one.
Yeah.
And the third one was that I felt like I was teaching everyone everything, like general English to everyone, children, adults, professionals, students, but I wasn't specializing enough, so I couldn't bring very tailored results to my students.
Absolutely.
And these were the 3 things that were kind of discouraging me from continuing in my teaching.
Yeah. I mean, that's so often the case, isn't it? That you get thrown into these different situations as ESL teachers. I know I've been there. And it is so general, it's so broad, and you're not appreciated. And I just feel that both teachers and busy professionals, they're often underestimated, their worth, and they have to struggle with their time and their energy, their management of energy as well. That often is the case because they're so undervalued. So I do appreciate that. So, how do you get around that? How do you sort of turn it all around for yourself? That's the really interesting part for me.
So guess what? It was all the mindset shift. That's why I'm so much into it.
Yeah.
So I wanted to increase my rate for many years already. I was charging about $15 per hour, 3 different countries. And I just couldn't, even when I asked for just $1 raise.
Gosh.
For some schools, it was hard for them to give this money to me. And then I felt like, okay, what needs to be changed for me to charge more? So what needed to be changed was the way I was seeing myself, how I was valuing myself. And then what I changed, so I started to value myself more. And I even say I doubled and tripled my value, the way I saw what kind of value I can bring to my students. And then the financial reality just followed that. So I was charging $50 per hour after about a few months when I just changed this mindset, like how I saw myself. That was the first thing. And of course, the second one was the strategy as well. So as I mentioned to you, I felt I wasn't specialized enough. I was teaching general English to everyone. So when I specialized, then I was able to charge more, at least triple more. And my niche were psychologists who wanted to learn English.
Brilliant. Yeah.
So,
It just goes to show it's so important to niche down if you really want to add value. I was going to ask you what your pivotal moment was, but I think you've already covered that. That's pretty obvious. The pivotal moment in your teaching career where you realized there was that need for that mindset shift.
yes and no. Actually, Alan, I didn't mention the full thing. So I was fired.
Oh, okay.
So, I don't know. I think many people have this procrastination where they are just procrastinating on making this decision to either go independent or change career or do something. So I was procrastinating for some time already in my teaching career. But then because of COVID, I lost my job. And as teachers, you don't earn that much to have a lot of savings. So I had savings to survive for 3 months, but really living very modestly. And I knew something had to change. And when you are in this desperate, in a way, I was in a desperate situation. I knew I would either have to move in with my parents or start something which is my own. And I love my parents, but living with them permanently wasn't something I wanted.
Well, no, it's not something that anybody really wants of a certain age, not unless they have sort of, I don't know, some sort of psychological hang-ups or something. They're not likely to think, "Oh, I really would like to go back to mummy and daddy."
Yeah, so that's why I felt like, okay,
That wouldn't happen.
I was scared of being an entrepreneur and do something of my own, but I think I was more scared of living with my parents.
Yeah, that's it. We know that we have to make this massive leap, don't we?
Yeah.
We have to make that mindset shift, really, because it can be so easy just to continue on blindly along the same road without making those shifts. But the fact that obviously for you, the catalyst was avoiding going back to your parents' house seems like that does seem to be a really great reason for pursuing another path and then niching down into that.
Yeah, that was especially because I was certified to be a CELTA qualified teacher.
Yeah.
And that was just 2 years before this happened. And it wouldn't be like very nice and lovey-dovey to just come back to my parents. They thought like, oh wow, now Steffi is set for, success and she's going to do well. And now she's just coming back to us. So I just felt like, yeah.
No, I completely understand that. In your case, I mean, the journey hasn't been an overnight success, has it?
No.
I mean, are those mindset shifts, have they helped you to persevere through other challenges to build this sustainable career? Because it's not all plain sailing, is it? I guess there must have been some sort of hiccups along the way. How did you manage to cope with that?
Definitely. Yes. So basically, it all starts in your mind. So you start thinking like how you would like to live, what you would like to have in your life. And then the physical reality, like the circumstances you end up in, just follow. Sometimes maybe a month after, sometimes a year after. So my mindset started shifting long before I already kind of started charging more and became independent. So it was like a few years process, I would say. And even then, when I became a teacher entrepreneur, so as I mentioned, I managed to triple my hourly rate with my first 3 clients.
Yeah.
Then I was just increasing slowly. And also, I was having and expanding my audience very slowly. So sometimes many people feel like, okay, I get into business, I've got these many clients the very next month already. And it's not like that. So I had to do a lot of work, especially around marketing. And I can see results even the next month, sometimes even 6 months, maybe 1 year later.
Mm.
And that's a risk. But at the same time, gain, I guess, as an entrepreneur, that you have faith in something you can't see just yet, but you know you will achieve it or you can achieve it.
No, that's exactly right. I mean, that is just so fundamental, really. Having that belief in yourself to persevere against all odds, even when it seems like things are not financially going the way that you would like. Oh, you're not seeing those results, but it's having that faith, because the tendency, in my experience, and I'm not talking even personal experience, I'm referring to people around me, is just to jack it all in, to give up. And it is going that extra mile, just keeping on that faith, little by little, chipping away, that makes all that difference. It's really great to hear these stories, and there is a way, isn't there? There is a way.
But I would be lying if I said that I had never felt like giving up. Like there were those moments when you felt like, does this make sense? If you're trying for something for months or even a year and you still don't see consistency in your financial results and funds coming in. So I think it's fair enough when people give up, and I can understand that.
Yeah, of course. No, absolutely. I mean, obviously, for me, I'm very interested in that crossover between the work that you do with the teachers in the Teacher Academy, and also with the work of busy professionals. So for me, it's the fundamental question that I have really is, how can busy professionals adopt a similar long-term perspective when it comes to their wellness? Because they have this wellness and they also have their professional goals. And we need to understand that fast, in terms of them reaching that next point, doesn't mean instant. So is there a way that they can adopt a similar long-term perspective in both their wellness as well as their professional goals?
Yes. So basically, for me, it's all about what do you desire from the bottom of your heart?
Yeah.
Alan, I call it a C-type goal, which means a goal that scares you and excites you at the same time. And you have no idea how you can achieve that goal. So some people would say like long-term goals, I guess that's how they would call it. And this is the goal I start with. So I need to feel passionate and excited about what I'm going for. So that's the first step. And that is kind of like my compass. That's what my heart
Mm.
wants, right? But then, of course, this is too scary for your brain to imagine. Let's say, now our C-type goal at Bowie is to have 5,000 teachers in the teacher academy.
Mm.
At the moment, we have about 200. So it's scary, and we don't know how to achieve it. Some teachers, let's say or professionals, they earn 1,000 per month, and they would love to earn 10,000 or 20,000 just to have more freedom in the choices in their life and support the things they want to. So it's a big, scary goal you don't know how to achieve. And for your brain to feel at ease, you need to, in a way, chunk it down. I call it milestones or like short-term goals, you can call it. And the next milestone should be clear enough for you and not scary for your brain to achieve.
Mm.
So let's say for somebody who wants to change their career, okay, and they are a busy professional, maybe the very next milestone will be to just spend, I don't know, 1 week just researching different companies you want to apply for jobs in.
Yeah.
Or maybe the next one will be just to choose that one company and prepare for the interview with them and write a cover letter and whatever else you have to write. So these are the milestones. The bigger goal, the C-type goal, I call it, it's something that you want from the bottom of your heart, but you don't know how to achieve it. And then the last thing, for you to get to your next milestone, I like this idea of having smart priorities or small goals for the week. So this is what gives your brain exact, clear next steps for you to know what to do to get to your next milestone. And with this kind of like plan, I don't know if I can call it plan, it's very hard not to achieve it. But there is one thing I want to mention is that some people question, like, will I ever get to my big, long-term goal if the things don't work right now? But the way I describe it is the same, like, imagine you're on your way to Rome or Paris, you're on the train, and you know you're going to Paris. So you don't question it every other minute. Are we going to get to Paris? Are you going to ask all the people around you? You know you will get to Paris at some point. Trust the process and just enjoy the journey and speak to the passengers, enjoy your meals,
Yeah.
whatever you have.
Sure. No, that's so true. Because I've got my own journey, and funnily enough, within that framework of the academy, I have often felt, just on a personal level, sort of a mix really of being sort of slightly an outsider, but then also quite integral to the process. And so you see all these different characters within this whole little mini world who have all their own doubts, their own hang-ups, but then their own positivities as well, and those when they have those wins, and that comes shining through, and that serves itself, is to be around lots of people who genuinely are suddenly enthusiastic about something because they have achieved that next mini milestone or whatever it is. And it's so important to recognize that this is just a journey, and we're just going to gradually, little by little, get through this together. And having that kind of teamwork as well is also, enriches the entire process. So I love that idea as well.
This leads me to something else, Alan, and I feel like many busy professionals may feel similarly as I feel about this. And it's the hyperachiever saboteur, which is about just sticking to the outcome and to the goal that you want to achieve. And you are just busy, 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 just getting there, that you
Mm,
can forget to live and enjoy in between. So kind of like you lose the sight of the enjoyment in the process, and you just
yeah.
are fixated on this big goal you want to achieve.
That is something I'm aware of, but that's not the case with me. I have the opposite
Mm.
problem. I
The
spend
opposite
too much
problem.
time
Oh.
probably doing the things that I enjoy and not enough time focusing down. And so, because I do realize the importance of that,
But
yeah,
have you always been like this, Alan?
pretty much, I think, yeah. Yeah, I've always been quite an Epicurean by nature who enjoys to do those things which are good fun. I was hardly a distinguished student at school, quite undistinguished. I mean, I got through, I did okay, but I certainly kept my eye off the ball at times because I was interested in sport, in music, in having fun, as opposed to the academia side. So you can see the different characters there. But now I've reined it in. And now I love the ideas, so much stuff that I've learned along in this process about how to super focus when required. And that's absolutely key. And I can see that. So, yeah.
Yeah. I think I have the opposite challenge. As a busy professional, I feel like it's changing right now, but I felt like I was just too much focused on the goals I wanted to achieve. And somehow I forgot to have fun and just flow through life. But when I understood like there is a difference between being a hyperachiever and healthy achiever, now I think I appreciate it more and just enjoying the process more, I guess.
Exactly. And your health is the fundamental crux of everything, really, here. You have to have that as a base. Because if you haven't got good health, or as optimal as you can possibly have, because not everybody naturally has good health, they have to bear that in mind. But if you're going to optimize your health to the best that you can do your potential, then you've got that base. But if you neglect that, you do that at your peril, and I'm not talking, it's not only physical health, it's emotional health. And that's the key, because having those, you can have all that physical. You can be the top athlete with the perfect nutrition, taking all the right minerals and vitamins. But if you're emotionally unstable, unhinged, I'm exaggerating, obviously, to make a point, then it's just pie in the sky. It's a waste of time, really.
Yes, and that's why you have your podcast. This is the topic for your podcast, right? Like it's not just about physical health, but it's emotional health as well. It's mental health.
It's about finding that optimal balance, and for me personally, I know that, I'm struggling, to find that balance as well, like everybody else, but I'm aware of that. And I have this other side, which is looking in to my own self, the two brain type thing. And that's what's really fascinating for me, is having that awareness. Anyway, we've sort of digressed a little bit, because something I'd like to ask you is about cultivating resilience, because busy professionals, they need to cultivate that resilience and have that growth mindset to navigate setbacks in their wellness and their careers. How can they cultivate that resilience in order to get as much fortitude as possible psychologically to keep going in the face of adversity? So on that key question of cultivating resilience, you'll have to wait to the second part of this interview with Stefy, which will be out next week. And I'll leave a link to the Teacher Academy, which I thoroughly recommend. It's got everything you would need if you want to set yourself up as a teacher, or any business really that is there to serve others and to make the world a better place. So remember, stay focused, make time for yourself, and fit in some fun. Until next time, goodbye for now.